A lot of people get their news from social media.
Okay.
Right? Sometimes the trending information is the most relevant. And it might not be the most accurate. It's just the most trending information. Okay. Right? So I read this, I don't know if I read an article or if it was a documentary, but there was this discussion, right, about like, especially when we were talking about like all the BLM, the Black Lives Matter stuff, as well as that police brutality and so on and so forth. Sometimes the narrative that they want you to see, right, even though there is a lot of benefit for us being able to like highlight some of the things, some of the injustices, but sometimes they focus on a particular injustice that is popular and they ignore all the other ones, right?
True.
You see what I'm saying, right, Trill?
Facts. But I mean,
definitely.
I'm not saying that's good or bad.
But that actually goes against your original point, right? Because you said that it's good for business, bad for personal, but that's a business thing.
What are you talking about?
That them targeting or aiming a specific or categorizing, right? Like different parts of, for instance, the BLM movement, because that's what you're talking about specifically here and now. For them to exploit one part of it or highlight one part of it for clicks and views and whatever. Okay. That's what you're saying, right? You going in that direction, or was I off?
Well, it's not necessarily for clicks and views, but it's more so like that just happens to be the wave of what's going on in a particular moment, right? It's not necessarily for clicks and views. That's just business operation, right? Like I'll give you an example, right? Troy, tell me how you feel about this, right? I was I forgot what I was listening to, but I was listening to a different podcast where they were talking about how and tell me how you feel about this. You feel this is real or not, right? There was a guy, he was saying when they see like a black dude getting pulled over, right? Getting pulled over by the police, everybody got their cameras out. Oh, let's see what's going to happen. You know, this, that, and the third. There might be an injustice here, so on and so forth, right? And then when he saw somebody getting pulled over by the police, he went to go pull his camera out. He realized it wasn't a black dude, so he's like, I don't need to record anything, right? What you're doing also is there might be an overall like police injustice as a whole, but you're only highlighting it when it's black and white.
But there's a reason that you are doing that, because there's a disproportionate.
No. I'm not disagreeing with you. I just want to understand, like, from your point of view, Trill, do you feel as though like that's also like a popularized, trending perspective versus people capturing every single thing that needs to be. You see what I mean?
Okay.
I feel like they're going to go with what's most profitable and what's most polarizing, right? The news isn't built to inform. Nope. It's built to like give you entertainment, shock.
Yeah.
So if we, like, just like you said, that example with the camera being pulled out, a white person getting pulled over by police, it's not really polarizing. It's not controversial, right? Because there's no stigma, there's no history attached to it. But a black person, there is. So if there's any kind of aggression or any kind of whatever the case may be, like that clip is going to go viral compared to a clip of, say, a white person getting aggressive with the cop or cussing the cop out. So if I'm a news station, I'm trying to get as many eyes on my station as possible. Yeah. So I'm going to lean into what I know is going to be the most polarizing. Same thing with like a Twitter or the case may be. It's kind of how I got big on there, is that I kind of wrap my head around that exact same concept. Sure, I can be on there, telling a lot of women what they want to hear in terms of relationship. Hey, you go out, get you a good man. You are independent queen. These guys are going to, they have to bow to you like that. I could have came out and did that, right? Yeah. But you'll be saying what they quote unquote already know, or what they think they know, or what they want to hear. It's nothing polarizing about that. But if I come out and I tweet, you need to be accountable, your last situation failed because you didn't do such and such, that's going to get outrage. That's going to get like the timeline.
So you played on that, yes.
Sure. And that's what anybody smart would do. Like, just like those media companies that y'all are talking about. I'm going to lean into what's most polarizing. My job is to get eyes on my channel. Or if I have a news account, clicks or retweets or whatever the case may be, I'm trying to get as much of that as possible, because what does that do? that brings me more money when these ads come in. So everything is about profit.
Exactly.
All of it is.
But see, that's my problem, right?
But it's not a problem.
No,
it's a vicious cycle.
No,
but it's not a problem.
Let me tell you why it's a problem. I'm gonna tell you why it's a problem.
Let's hear why.
So think about this, right? Whatever you see in the news, you think that's the problem, right? When in reality, there might be another underlying issue. So if you're talking about like people who are, doing injustice in the world in whatever field that they're in, they're going to use whatever's on media to determine what the problem is and overlook what the real problem might be or the underlying issue is, right? People are talking about like, racial sensitivity and so on and so forth. How about teaching cops how to use a gun in the first place? So a lot of them don't have the proper training to do that, right?
Right.
But they don't highlight that on the news. They highlight just it's a social injustice, which that exists, but that's not the only thing. There's so many other there's budgeting issues, there's all kinds of stuff, but no one wants to talk about it.
Sure.
So they're gonna spend their budget on what satisfies the public's egotistical perspective, which is ridiculous. Right? Do you see what I'm saying?
But it's profitable.
No, that's my point. It's profitable.
But it's profitable.
It's good for
From a
business.
business standpoint, it's
Bad
great.
for people.
Right.
But again, you're leaning into one part of it because here's the thing with social media. There's still a ton of information out there that you can find, right? That represents the alternative narrative.
People are lazy.
But
social media preys on
you're
that.
saying that we should take people's autonomy away. So here's the thing: you're at least in this conversation. I think you're just doing it because it keeps it going. But you're framing social media as a negative from a personal standpoint, and you're saying it's a problem. So what's the solution to the problem? Take away social media.
No, I'm not saying that.
How do we fix that?
No, I think we just need to be more educated as people.
Okay.
So that way, whenever we are given a tool, we don't use
exactly. The issue is actually not with social media.
It's not social media.
Okay.
It's,
there we go.
When I say social media, it's as a concept. We are social media. So I'm referring to people.
Got it.
Do you see what I'm saying, Trill? Like,
Yeah, which is why I never like social media is nothing but a microcosm of what reality is.
Exactly.
In my opinion.
Exactly.
It's just a shrunken version. So just like we talking about the negatives of it, right? For in the same situation, there are injustices or whatever that happen to people that make the news because of social media, because it's trending, because we bring the attention to it. So now they're forced to talk about it because it's so popular. So again, there's a give and a take. It just depends on perspective, man. To be honest.